thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. And today we'll be covering the online master in applied statistical program at Purdue University. Thank you for joining us. So let's kick off the session with some questions to get to know a little bit better. You will notice that I'm going to open a poll with a few questions. So if you would like to just take a minute to answer those, that would be great. So we can get to know you a little bit better. So let me open the poll very quick. Okay, just a few questions. So one is, where are you from? And second question is, what is your profession? So if you could just answer those, that would be great. So we can get to know you a little bit better about, where you're from and also your profession. Okay, let me end the poll and we can share the results. So let's see. So we have some students coming from Midwest, most of us students coming from the South. So thank you for letting us know. And in terms of the job, so we have career changers, we have data professionals, and we also have others. So thank you so much for sharing your some of your background with us. Okay, now let's move on. So, well, for today's agenda, we will cover an overview of the program, what the typical plan of study looks like, admission requirements, and also the material needed to submit your application. We will run out the session with time for questions at the end. So before we begin, just a few reminders. This webinar is being recorded and the link will be sent to you after the session. You can use the Q&A feature throughout the whole presentation to ask questions, and we will do our best to answer those as they come in. If we are not able to get your questions answered during the presentation, of course, we will have time for Q&A at the end. So well, now let's meet our wonderful team here. So my name is Qian. I'm a Human Counselor here for this program. Basically, I'm your first point person for everything leading up to enrollment into your courses. I can help you with the application process in general, and then basically any question you may have about our program. I'm also a Purdue graduate, so very excited to get to know each of you on your journey to becoming a boilermaker. Now I'm going to turn this over to our Purdue faculty, Dr. Tim Keaton, to introduce himself.
Thanks, Jen. Hi, I'm Tim. I'm also a Purdue alum. I came here to get my master's and PhD in the stats department, and I've since stuck around. I'm an assistant professor of practice, which means my focus is mainly on teaching and some administrative duties like helping with the specific program.
Okay,
Back to you, Jen.
thank you. Well, now let's talk about why Purdue. I think that maybe some of you know Purdue already. Some people probably are not very familiar with Purdue. So Purdue University is located in West Lafayette, Indiana, in the heart of the Midwest for our brick and mortar campus. And we have students joining us from all over the world. So something that is important as you research in any institution, especially at the graduate level, is how they measure up against the competition. So at the tier one, research institution with a historic strength in STEM, which means science, technology, engineering, and math. As you can see, we are ranked #1 best, most recognized public university in the U.S., and also #6 globally ranked university in the world. So we have alumni, from basically all over the country and from all over the world. So for our online master in applied statistics, we maintain the same degree of excellence, academic rigor, and also dedicated faculty, just like our residential program on the West Lafayette campus. I would say probably the primary distinction just lies in the delivery method. One is being online and the other on campus. We basically share the same faculty, same degree, and very similar course content, just like our residential program. So in that regard, you will be able to access our world-renowned faculty, top quality curriculum in a very convenient and flexible format. The classes will be held asynchronously, meaning that there are no lab classes. So basically, you are able to watch the pre-record lectures or read the material on your own schedule. but still you still need to make a steady progress and be sure you can finish exam, assignment, whatever assessment by the due date. It is also 100% online, so you can, study this program wherever you are. You're not ever required to come over to West Lafayette, Indiana, the campus, or Purdue campus, but of course, you're always welcome to visit if you want to. So as an online student, there are tons of resources at your fingertips. Our career center, our writing lab, our Metro Success Center, to name a few. So even though you're online and never have to step foot onto our campus, you're always welcome to use those resources. So here is an example of what your diploma will look like, once you complete this program. Please notice that there is no indication on your diploma or your transcript that the program was delivered online. So it's a purely said Master of Science, and that's it. So there is no mentioning of online delivery at all. So basically the same kind of transcript and diploma, just like a residential student gonna receive. And also you can also participate, in terms of the commencement ceremony, you feel free to, you can have the option to either participate in the remote or on-campus commencement ceremony, whichever way that you prefer. So that's basically about our diploma. And now I'm going to turn this over to a team again to give you an overview of the Department of Statistics and also about our online program.
Thank you, Qian. So this is a picture of the building where most of our statistics faculty are housed. If this were a live view, you could see me waving through the bottom left window there. The stats department is a standalone statistics department. We are not math, we are not CS, we are our own department in the College of Science, although we work closely with both of those other departments. And we are recognized as one of the top stats programs in the country. The 2 points that at the bottom are the ones I really want to focus on. We have some really great student resources. I'm going to start at the bottom. Statistics in the Community, or StatCom, is exactly what it sounds like. It's kind of an outreach program where our grad students primarily reach out to the community, different organizations, elementary and high schools, religious organizations, just community gatherings, and help educate people on statistics. That's kind of in contrast to the first bullet point there, the Statistical Consulting Service, which I'll talk more about in a little bit, which is the internal to Purdue stats outreach program, where people from all over campus working on all different kinds of projects that need statistical help can come to the service and get assistance from our faculty working with our grad students on their statistical needs. Next slide, please. So what is this program about? Well, it is called a Masters of Applied Statistics. The goal is to help you apply statistics in the workplace, to be a professional statistician. So we try to balance the curriculum, both between the theory behind how the stuff works, but also a very healthy helping of how does the stuff work and how to make it work and how to communicate those results to others. And so that really goes into the last point here, our statistical consulting and collaboration course, which I'm teaching for the first time right now this semester. It's been fun. This is kind of a capstone class for the program. It provides a little bit more of the less of the hard science and more of the soft science behind what we do, more of the soft skills in communicating stats to people who might not be as well versed, and knowing what questions to ask and how to have those talks. And that includes both some past projects that have come through our statistical consulting service, but also a live project working with clients and our faculty to get that real hands-on experience that is, maybe a little bit more real world than some of the nice textbook problems they've seen in their other classes. Next slide, please. I won't go over all the details on the slide. Don't worry. You can check it all out on our website if you want all the details. But our master's program is 11 courses. They're 3 credit hours each. So I won't do too much math today, but that's 33 credit hours in total. There are a few required courses there, what we call the foundation courses. That includes that capstone class. And then there are some core courses where you can think of those as kind of electives. And we are very much in the process, especially this past week, did a lot of work on adding a bunch of other new courses as possible electives um, to this list. So that will hopefully be going live soon. Most of our students take 2 courses per semester during the fall and spring, maybe 1 course during the summer, because that moves at twice the pace. We typically suggest, or based on past experience, we've said that's usually about maybe 10 hours per class, so about 20 hours per week if you're doing that 2 course load. And again, similar over the summer because of the double pace. And students who are working at that pace usually take about 2 to 2.5 years to get through these 11 courses. So 5 or 6 semesters usually is our standard. As far as programming languages go, the program really focuses on SAS and R, 2 very statistics-focused languages that we use throughout most of these classes. Next slide, please. If 11 courses and 2.5 years seems a little too intimidating, maybe our graduate certificate is for you. Again, I won't go over all these courses in detail, but you'll notice they might look familiar from the last slide. This is a subset of those courses you just saw. And so if you're not sure you want to do the full commitment of the master's, but you think you got time, you got about a year to do the 4 courses here, you can get a graduate certificate. We've also set this up though, so there's some flexibility. Maybe you start in the certificate program, maybe that's your starting plan, but then you realize, hey, I can do this. I've got a little more time over the next couple of years than I thought I did. I want to transfer to the master's program. And that's something that people have done and we are fully supportive of. And also the other way, maybe you start in the master's program, life changes. You're not going to have the flexibility that maybe you had when you started. You're like, oh, I'm not going to be able to finish the master's, but I'd still like to leave with something. That's a good opportunity to transfer to the certificate as well. And both these programs have the same admissions requirements, so that makes the switching be very easy. Next slide, please. A common question people have is, what do these online courses look like? And the answer is, it depends. It varies. It depends on the class. But in the end, these are graduate level college courses. It's really the same content that we present to our in-person residential students. Right before this webinar, I was emailing with a faculty member who's running the same class, both for this program and for our, literally just down the hall for our students this fall. And so it's a lot of the same faculty, same content, and what exactly is in the course varies depending on the class. I talked a lot about that capstone course that has a lot of projects, a lot of group work. Other classes are going to be more traditional. Hey, here's some problems out of a textbook. But basically all the classes have recorded lectures from our faculty. A lot of them do have some outside reading, whether it's textbooks or other resources. They basically all have discussion boards as a way to connect with the faculty and other students. I know all of our faculty have office hours that they're available for as well. Most of them have exams or assignments of some form. But again, those can vary and look different depending on the class. Next slide, please. Again, this is called applied statistics, but kind of the two-edged sword of statistics is it doesn't exist by itself usually. It's not a discipline that would exist in a vacuum. It's always applied somewhere. And the great thing about that is you can use the skills from this class in basically any field. Name a field that doesn't have or use data in some form. I guess you can't use it there, but I can't really think of any because everything is data driven these days, which is wonderful. So what that job title can look like can vary a lot. Maybe it'll say statistician, maybe it won't have statistics anywhere in the name, but lots of different scientists and analysts and administrators can use the skills that we cover in this class. And you see some of the salaries there. I'm sure those are only just going up in those numbers as we're talking. Next slide, please.
Okay, cool. I think this probably is my slide. So thank you so much, team, for sharing those great information about the program. So now I just want to talk a little bit more about our go-to resources, right? So especially for students who are pretty new with online learning. So just want to emphasize that the learning online does not mean learning alone. So our faculty, like team, our academic advisor, and our success coach will be supporting you throughout your whole study. So for example, many of our faculty, they host like virtual office hours where you have the opportunity to connect with our professors in real time, ask questions, seek clarifications, and receive timely feedback in a real-time manner. And we also have our academic advisor who basically will serve as a trusted mentor. They can provide a valuable guidance for on course selection, course registration, help you to create degree plan to fit your individual needs. We have some students who would like to finish the program as fast as possible. Some students want to take it slow, so they can, create a unique degree plan to fit the individual needs, and also ensure you stay on track until graduation. In addition to those academic support, we also have our success coach who are there to help you with any non-academic issues or concerns you may face during your time at the Purdue University. So whether you're dealing with a unique challenge of returning to school as a adult learner or struggling with like time management issues, they can all help. They will also host like networking events and facilitate opportunities for you to connect with your fellow students, because we believe that the peer networking, is also pretty important, in the learning process. And also, in addition to that, you can also, connect you with all the resources that Purdue offers, such as the Career Center, Alumni Center, Writing Lab, to name a few. So here is our current student profile. So basically for our students, they're all coming from all over the United States and from different countries. And also we have students from very diverse background. We have recent graduate students, graduates from the undergrad program. We also have students that are working professionals. And so some of the job titles are, just that we collect from our past data are some of them are working in the data field already, such as senior data analyst, statistician, data scientist. But we also have a lot of students who are not working in the data field and who want to jump into the statistical field. So we have mathematical teacher, engineer, AI consultant, a program manager who want to either jump into this field or who want to use a advanced statistical skill set to enhance their current job. We also have welcome students from various undergraduate major to apply for our program. One common concern I receive from our prospective student is that, hey, my undergrad major was not in mathematics or statistics. Can I apply for this program? The answer is absolutely yes. So of course we have students in undergraduate major in statistics or mathematics, but we also have students from all different kind of majors as well, computer science, psychology, biology, finance, to name a few. So definitely encourage you to apply, even though your undergraduate major was not in math or statistics. So here is our tuition cost, pretty important part. So I would say that our tuition cost is pretty competitive when compared to our peer institutes. So if you are Indiana residents, it will be $850 per credit hour. And for our out-of-state resident, it's $950. It's only $100 difference. And for, as Tim mentioned before, in order to graduate from this master program, it is 33 credit hour. So for the whole master degree cost will be $28,050 for Indiana residents and $31,350 for our out-of-state residents. For our graduate cert, because only require 12 credit hour to earn the graduate cert, so currently it is $10,200 for Indiana residents and $11,400 for our out-of-state residents. So that is for our tuition cost. You may be wondering, how you can pay for this program, right? So basically, I can tell you that there are basically three main ways how our learners pay for this program. So first of all is submit the FAFSA and apply for the low interest federal education loan. And another way is pay out of your own pocket, right? I would say probably majority of our students, they just pay out of their own pocket. But we do have a payment plan to help you to break down the cost. And also you just pay by, and also in terms of payment, you just only need to pay the number of credit hours you want to register for any given semester. So if you want to apply, take a 5 credit hour for the upcoming fall 2026, that's how much you're going to pay. If you only want to take 3, then you pay less, right? So that's basically how it works. And we do have a payment plan to help you break down the cost. So if you don't want to pay like $5,000 upfront, at the beginning of the semester, we do have a payment plan. So you can pay by monthly or pay by weekly. We have different payment plan options. Lastly, we do also have some students who could employer offer tuition assistance or reimbursement. So I would advocate, I would definitely have you advocate for yourself and see if your employer offer any tuition assistance or professional development funds that can help you to cover some of the tuition cost. So that's basically about the 3 main ways, either apply for the loan, the federal loan, or pay out of your own pocket, uh, or by using the payment plan, or, your employer gonna cover some of the tuition cost. So that's basically about our tuition fees. And I know we already covered a lot of information so far about our program. So before we move on and talk about our admission requirements and application process, I would just say let's take a break and do a second poll and while we before we move on to the admission part. So let me open the poll very quick. Yeah, just want to say, how you're feeling about, studying our program at this time. Do you have any questions? I do not see any questions so far at the Q&A. But if you have any questions, definitely feel free to put that in. We can either answer that as we go through the rest of the webinar slides, or we can also answer at the end of the Q&A. Okay, cool. I see everybody already participated. So thank you so much for everybody participation. Okay, so let me share the results. So we do have some students that are very eager and excited to apply. So thank you so much. And also some still 50% that not sure if this is for me, and I'm here to find out. So yeah, definitely stick on to it, and we'll share more information about the program, specifically from the admission and application viewpoint. But if you have any questions, definitely welcome you to put that in the Q&A. We're happy to answer those. So make sure that you have all the information you need to make an informed decision. Okay, so for our admission requirements, so pretty simple. So first of all, of course, a bachelor degree, because this is a master course, a master program, so a bachelor degree is needed. 3.0 GPA, and then no GRE, no GMAT, so no scores in that, and also 1 semester of calculus. So for 1 semester of calculus, so we really don't have any specific requirement on what kind of calculus that has to be. So as long as you have 1 semester of a college level calculus, then that should be okay. So those are the 3 prerequisites. We do also recommend students to have 1 semester of statistics and knowledge of computer programming to show successful completion, to make sure that they can be successful in the program. So it is recommended and not required, but something we would like to see from your application. For anybody who do not meet all the admission requirements, or maybe if your GPA is below 3.0, or if you do not have the calculus or statistics, don't worry. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to guide you through every individual situation and offer some suggestions. And then about how to apply. For application material, for the application fee, it is $6 for our domestic student and $75 for our international applicants. If you are a military member or veteran, your application fee will be waived. So basically for the items that we require, basically just a professional resume, 3 recommendation letters, and also official transcript from all university attended. That's basically all we need. For recommendation letters, can be either academic or professional. I'm going to talk about that more in the next slide. And then for international students, we do require English proficiency exam. And also a copy of each diploma received in the original language and English translation. For resume, so basically, if you already have a resume that you have, you feel free to just use that for the application as long as it's up to date, no grammar mistakes, then I think it should be good to use. Nothing extra need to be done for your resume. And then for recommendation letters, just make sure that we do require 3 recommendation letters. And in terms of the recommender, so can be either academic or professional. So academic means that your past professors. And for professional recommender can be either your former current employer, supervisor, manager, tutor, mentors. They're all good recommenders of anybody you know of through the professional setting. Do not, we try to, stay away from family members or close friends or neighbors. We also have some student put neighbors out there, because I know that they will talk some great stuff about you, right? And it could be biased, so we cannot accept those. And so basically how this recommendation goes is that basically all you need to do is while you're filling the application form, all you need to do is just enter your recommender's name and email address. And our system will automatically will send a recommendation form to your recommender for them to fill out. So this is what the recommendation form looks like that your recommender going to receive. So basically they will be asking about, how they know about you, and also some of the category they are gonna rank. And also lastly, there will be a short statement. They can ask about, they can enter, your potential for success in this graduate program. For the transcript, so we do have a new process right now called a third-party transcript ordering. So basically what that means is that we are trying to retrieve the transcript on your behalf first, if you allow us to do so, while you when you indicate that on the application form. So sometimes we can, get the transcript with no problem successfully. So in that case, nothing you need to do at all. Then we would basically fulfill the transcript requirement for you. But sometimes we feel we are not able to get the transcript because some of the university do not allow other third-party university, other university to get the transcript on behalf of their students. So in that case, if we fail to get the transcript, then unfortunately you have to do it yourself, and we will let you know if we are not able to get the transcript. That's basically about the transcript. So for the transcript, the official transcript has to be coming directly from the institution. So you can, your institution can either send us electronically by email or by parchment, or you can also mail to our graduate admission office in the sealed envelope. For the English proficiency, so we do, accept either TOEFL, IELTS, or Duolingo. And make sure that the scores should be within 2 years of admission, and also must meet overall score as well as each individual requirement. If you have any questions on that, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to explain more. So about the important dates to remember. So this is our upcoming semester. So for 2026, which will be starting on August 24. And the application deadline is July 15. We also have another semester, spring 2027, which will be starting next year on January 11, and the application deadline is December 1st. So those are the two upcoming 2 semesters. If you are interested in any of those, definitely welcome your application. So when to receive admission decision. So especially for some students who already start the application, just want to let you know that, basically you usually can hear back from us in about 4 weeks for you to receive admission decision. I just look at our, records, application records so far. So we already received about 47 applications for the fall 2026. Already have a good number of students who already admitted and accept enrollment. So definitely are looking forward to your application if you're interested in the program. So yeah, I know that I already said a lot, so I hope you're enjoying our presentation so far. Finally, before we move on to the Q&A session, I just want to do a last poll and see how you think about our program while you are thinking about your own questions. So let me do that pretty quick. Yep, just two simple questions. So how you feeling about the application process, and also when do you plan on enrolling? So if you could just let us know, that would be great. So we can then communicate it with you accordingly, according to your plan. Okay, I'm going to end the poll pretty soon, and yeah, let me end that and share the result. So let's see. With that, we have most of our students at 60% have not started the application yet, but eager to get started. So thank you for your enthusiasm. Some of them already started the application, and some still deciding whether the program is right for them or not. So yeah, no worries. Let's definitely take your time because we know that attending a graduate school, getting a graduate education, that is a huge commitment, right? When do you plan on enrolling? Yeah, I would say pretty good split between fall 2026 and spring 2027. And so thank you so much for letting us know. Okay, so I know that we already talked a lot, and but now we would like to invite you to join our conversation at this time. So if you have any questions, definitely feel free to put that into the Q&A. I see we already have one question, which I'm gonna answer shortly. And just remember, no question is too big or too small, and we will be staying on for as long as we need to make sure that we answer all of your questions. So thank you, Carlos, for a great question. So how do you accept West transcript evaluation? Unfortunately, no, because we do all the credential evaluation in-house. So we do not accept the transcript or credential evaluation from other companies such as West. So which means that all you need to do is just send us your transcript. Sometimes probably need a degree certificate, depends on which country you come from. But yeah, we do not need the transcript evaluation. So here is my contact information. So, if you have any questions about the application process or admission requirements or anything about the program, feel free to reach out to me either by email or, giving me a call. Again, for admission, our admission committee review the application holistically. So even though you do not meet, certain of the admission requirements, definitely encourage you to talk to me and we can find some solutions on that. Yeah, let's see if we have any other questions. Okay, I if we don't have any other questions, I guess we are just going to go ahead and conclude the presentation for today. Seems like we probably hopefully we did a great job that it covers everything, then leave you with no questions, right? So, well, in that case, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join us. You will receive the webinar recording from us shortly. And also you will see a survey popping up at the end of the webinar. We would like to, just hear your suggestions and feedback for today's webinar. And if you, as I said before, if you have any questions about our program after the webinar, feel free to reach out to me. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us. And we look forward to, continue to support you throughout your application to Purdue. And have a great rest of your day.
Thanks for joining, everyone.